Yeah, everybody. Welcome to It's Sunday and I've already lost my mind. The stream. Oh my gosh, I forgot this music. It's just freaking Comet. It makes your mouth turn green. Comet. It tastes like Listerine. Comet. It makes you vomit. So have some Comet and vomit today. Hey, hey. Y'all want to vomit with me? That's okay. We've got Kusogrand8. It is a bad video game tournament, and we are going to vomit a whole bunch. I hope you're excited. Thank you, Blastinus, for resubscribing. Good to have you. Thank you, Stream Caption Thingy, for reminding me. I need to figure out how to pump all of the audio through this so that everything gets captioned, so it's not just my voice. Who's a good little gay stream? I am. I'm your good little gay stream. Oh yeah. Hey, thank you for the hype train, Maxale. Thank you for resubscribing. We are all about booties. We're all about butts. We're all about bad, and we are all super excited to be here. BV, thank you for resubscribing. I probably miss some people like Hedge Maze. Hedge Maze, thank you as well. Now, without further ado, Crappy, I need you to share the deets. Come on, take us over to the game reveal. No, I said the deets, not Info Harry. No. Oh, Info Harry is scary. Clades, is that freaking Blobby? Why do you have a Mr. Blobby emote? And can you delete it? Mr. Blobby deserves to be deleted, okay? I don't like that guy. You know who I do like, though? Our next GM. Because, you know, I never really know what we're going to get. It always, I still haven't quite nailed down this GM style, which is always exciting to me because you never know what you're going to get. Say hello to GM for the first match of today. Omega number. Omega number. Omega number. I need you to come and tell me what the crap is going on. Hello, how you doing?
I am doing excellently today. I am very excited for seeing this game, so I hope all of you are excited too. This is one I've been sitting on for a while. Yeah, I needed a crew that was good enough to do it. This one's hard. This one's really hard. These are top of the line people here. So I was like, yeah, this is it. Because they would probably veto everything else in my packet anyway. You look at who it is, they just play everything. So.
Vetoing is love. It just means that people love the bad video games.
Yes, this is true. But they did veto this. Their reaction was, is that a real system? And, you know, that's always exciting too. So.
I was looking at this and I'm like, I don't think I know this video game system. Which always horrifies me.
It's pretty fun. It's when I played some games on, and actually I like it. I wouldn't mind having one, to be honest. Shall I give the reveal now?
Yes, please.
All right, we're playing Screaming Abdabs for the Dragon.
What the crap is an Abdab, and why are we screaming? Well, the players will scream soon, because, you know, we're not going to keep this dragon on. They will have 1 full hour to try to make as much progress as they can through a game that may or may not exist. Justin, I appreciate the laughing in the background. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Justin's like, oh, you said a funny joke, ha 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 ha, now I'm gonna make fun of you forever. But yeah, the players are gonna have an hour to scream their abdabs. Whoever screams the most abdabs over the course of the hour will take first and get 10 delicious points. Whoever doesn't only gets 2 points. The big question is anybody getting eliminated due to this match, or is this one of those that everybody's done so well that they're all moving on to round 4?
I think they are all moving on. I don't know what's your point threshold?
19. As long as they have 19 points by the end of this match, then they will move on. So if they have 17 or more points at this point.
Yes. That would be everybody is moving on that is playing right now. So
gotcha. Should we? I'm gonna go ahead and preemptively say a little bit of a flashing warning, just because every screen transition basically flashes the entire screen, and there are a lot of them. So just FYI, if what you're seeing here already bothers you, it's going to keep bothering you. Yeah, and anyways, I think I'm just about ready to go. We shouldn't be having audio on this screen, should we?
I don't believe so, and it is just beeps and boops, so you're gonna want some music. I'll tell you that right away.
Okay, I want to hear the beeps and boops first. Okay, that's required, and then after that, I can go ahead and decide how much music.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good plan to me. Yes, it's definitely. This is not a system that I think had anything resembling sound other than the standard beep and boop type thing.
Beep boop beep boop.
Yeah, I'll explain what it is once we get going here.
Chat, don't worry. We'll learn what an Abdab is and how to scream it.
Well, okay, I can tell you about that. Yeah, so this is British slang from World War II, apparently.
This is British slang from World War II. Everybody, history lesson time.
Yeah, no, it just means a state of extreme nervousness. It was probably when they had all the V2s flying overhead, you had to figure out something to say because you got a rocket coming for you. What do you say, right? And it got used as the original name for the band Pink Floyd. So if anybody's heard it that's not British, it's probably because they're a Pink Floyd fan. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It looks like most of the players are ready. I just am waiting for Julo Ninja. And there we go. I think everybody is good to go. So we're going to start the countdown. Again, everybody, feel free to use those channel points and bet on a winner here. We've got fierce competitors, Julo Ninja, Liz Star, Swirl Dreams, and Triscore. Best of luck to the players. And what would be some good emotes to spam? I would say, obviously, anything black and white.
Food. Lots of food.
Food. Okay, spam your emotes, black and white emotes, food. If you have Abdabs for some reason, you can spam those. And as soon as I see movement, I will start our timer. Okay.
It looks like we already have somebody trying to get the key to start with. That's not gonna work. That was looks like that was Triscore, right? Hold on, I'm looking at the right screen.
Let's see. Well, you can go ahead and watch my stream on Discord. That would make it a little easier for you.
I've got things set up here. I think I'm good. Okay. Yeah, so this game is really funny because it starts with the key at the very beginning, and it looks like all the instructions say is get the key to get to the next level. That's it. That's all it says. So you're standing there like the key's right there. You jump and you pass right through the key, and you're like, what? And no, you're supposed to get all the objects and then you get the key. This is just a game where every screen, and there's 36 of them, you pick up all the objects and you get the key. That's it. You have left, right, and up to jump.
Yeah.
Very manic miner-y kind of feel to it once you get into it. And it looks like we've got decent progress already. This does turn out to be kind of an information game. This is along the lines of trying to figure out the right route to do it. It is still tricky. I mean, even once you know the right route, but a lot of it is, I can't go that way. I have to jump here first kind of game. And so they're going to be dying a whole lot, trying to figure out what the right path is. They are allowed to use save states, by the way, but only at the start of a new level. So this is a game where they're gonna, if I did not do that, maybe we'd see level 2 or 3 even with this caliber of player. It's just that hard.
I mean, this is like old school hard. Everybody talks about NES hard, but anybody who says NES is hard, while they're correct, this is a whole nother level. Like old school PC, old school video game systems had to be brutal because they didn't have a whole lot of content. And in order to actually make it feel like, especially if you're buying a game, you want to have a game that lasts more than 10 minutes, you know? And because that, like, old school hard for video game systems is genuinely extremely difficult.
See here. So, Swirl Dreams and Triscore both got the grapes. I believe that is as far as anybody's gotten, I think. Is that right?
I think you're probably right. Luckily, we have a wonderful group of referees who are helping to track the match today. And the referees for this match are our dear friends Linker Abdab. Oh my gosh. Okay, not elected. Can't believe Omega Number created a console just for Kuso. Thank you so much, Omega Number. We've also got Nakarashi has the Hollering Heebies. Oh no, not the Hollering Heebies. We've got Dragus breathes time for air. What? Okay. Taven, bringer of disquietude and screaming Abdabs. Thank you so much, all of our refs, for helping out. And yeah, progress is based off of the level that they make too, as well as the number of objects that they have collected. I'm actually going to go ahead and get our tracker ready to put on the stream as well, so that people can very clearly see what the metrics are for this match. Because it's important, you know, you gotta know. Oh my gosh, I'm listening to Space Harrier music right now. I like it. Space Harrier, good game. Better than Screaming Abdabs? I don't know. Maybe.
It looks like, by the way, I think the closest anyone's gotten, I don't know if by the metric for tracking that was first, but Liz got to the point where she just needed to figure out, she needed to stand above that mug right there, and that she could fall through the floor. That particular floor that's on the upper left corner of the screen is a fall-through floor, and you experience it part of the way through this screen. You actually kind of almost get it tutorialized a little bit, that, hey, when you step on this, it starts to disappear. So you have to do essentially load runner tactics and realize, oh, I can just stand on there and fall through. Liz actually got in there, and it didn't seem like maybe she knew what was going on. I think she tried to jump and discovered that you die by hitting the ceiling. So, which, you know, is also a wonderful aspect of this game. I guess we should talk about the dragon, huh?
Yeah, where's the dragon?
Okay, so the dragon's in Wales. This is from a Welsh company.
Okay.
Yeah, they were not doing well. Let's just put it that way.
They were not doing well.
Yeah, they were part of the whole British game industry, toy industry as a whole, was not doing well through the 70s. They had severe issues. They were really just kind of all very old school, like they'd been making game toys for a really long time. And so when electronics started to enter the scene, they were like, well, the Japanese can do it, and we're just going to keep making these little phones that you lift up and pretend that you're talking to. And that's, you know, where they were at the time. And it basically meant some of them were going bankrupt. There was a big conference, international conference in England, and they basically said that they're never coming back, the other companies, because it was so bad. Anyway,
okay.
So
you've got
this
a question
company,
in Discord, by the way, that is time sensitive, so I would suggest that you take a look at that. Meanwhile, as you address that, I am getting pretty excited about this. Like, if anybody has played games like VVVVVV, they were very definitely inspired by sort of old school British and Euro platformers like this. By the Dragon, probably not, but by the ZX Spectrum for sure. And a lot of the design philosophies tend to remain the same. Why? Because you do not have to have any screen scrolling. Instead, you're dealing with a static screen that has very, very simple AI for the enemies here. All they do is they move back and forth, and it's honestly very easy to visually understand what is going to hurt you but also complicated enough that it adds a real challenge for anybody trying to play these games.
So the question actually is kind of relevant to talk about this. So this is a computer, not a console system. So that means like the keyboard keys, like when you press the letters, they do what the normal letters would do. So it's a matter of, hold on. We have, so we're actually at the end with Triscore, right?
Oh, Triscore's on to level 2. Very nice. Already, yeah, at the top left, you can see the level number. Very easy for you to keep track of. Number of lives at the top right. And you said that they are allowed to make a save state, right?
Right. I mean, I've been seeing them making and using save states, so they're definitely using it. They practiced it before they started. I definitely made sure that all of them confirmed that they were good with the save states, because, yeah, this game doesn't work without save states. I don't want them to play level 1 over and over. I'd rather have them see the rest of them.
I mean,
now,
unless you got a lifetime to dedicate to
hard.
screaming Abdabs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're good enough. We might see pretty deep in the game, but there's a lot of screens to this, and it does get pretty hard. It looks like already Triscore is actually, without too much trouble, almost getting to the end there, just got nailed by the spikes trying to get the cherry. Anyway, the computer Metoy is the name of the company that made it. And this was basically a Hail Mary making a computer. Because again, people are telling them, hey, you should do electronics. And they were like, no, the Japanese, they do electronics. We don't. And then they were like, they were about to go bankrupt. And they were like, uh-oh, we better do electronics. So they made a Tandy Coco clone. So if you know the Tandy Color computer at all?
Yeah, I do. I know that the Tandy sound card is something interesting to set up. But yeah, I'm familiar with Tandy.
Okay, this is a not exactly compatible, but close. There's a lot of Tandy Coco games for the Dragon. They just got ported over, but it's not perfect. And this particular game only is available for the Dragon. You can't play it on Tandy Coco. So
okay,
we have yet to have Tandy Color computer, I think, right? You haven't had that one?
Let's see. Did you say the Tandy Coleco?
Tandy Color computer. We haven't had that one, have we?
No, I don't believe we have had the Tandy Color computer, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, with that said,
so
this
in the meantime,
definitely is black and white. You don't need a Tandy to play this. Come on. TI-85, you can probably get something similar to this on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the choice for making it black and white. I assume there's some sort of speed thing going on, because this does go pretty smooth. A lot of these games, there's sort of a weird choppiness to the sprites, but this one actually does make it work on this particular system, which is not, I'll be honest, a great system. I played a bunch of games on it, and I like the system, and I wouldn't mind owning one, but again, it's not a great system. I'm being honest here. It's like, how you love your Kuso. It's the same kind of way.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, though, because it looks like this company made Chucky Egg, which I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the name Chucky Egg, but I'm a little familiar with it. I believe that I've played around with it a little bit and been like, this might be fine for Kusogrand8. Yeah. But that was sort of considered a classic at that time. That one got ported to a whole bunch of different systems, though, whereas Screaming Abdabs appears to only have been on Dragon.
Yeah. Chucky Egg, I'm not sure I'd put the first one. I mean, maybe I guess you could, because you could just put anything on Kuso really if you wanted to, but I would put the second one. There's a Chucky Egg 2.
Wow, did you hear that? Literally any game can be on Kusogrand8. Yeah, it's amazing.
Hey, we have had Ghouls and Ghosts on Kusogrand8. Now, mind you, we had it on like the SNES beta emulator, so all the graphics were garbage. But still,
that was an Atari, or that was an April Fool's match. Come on, you can't judge Kusogrand8 based off of April Fools. Uh, I guess you can. Okay.
You can.
Fine, whatever.
Oh my goodness. So I'm looking at everyone's progress. We definitely have so both Liz and Triscor seem to be pretty good at figuring this out, except for having trouble with the coin at the top, which actually, is that a coin or a waffle? They don't really define anything in this game, so I wasn't sure what to call it.
I mean, I see an egg. I'm pretty sure everything is food.
Yeah, it's, well, I mean, everything that you pick up is food, but some of the stuff that's like attacking you, you know, like, unless you consider skulls food, I guess, giant floaty ball screws, maybe. Wait, I guess if you
do you have to collect the skull?
No.
Well,
no,
then, yeah, skull's not food. Like, collect the food, don't collect the inedible substances, okay? Screws, you don't want to eat.
Triscor just passed to 4, so we're really cooking on the speed here.
Very nice.
Just based on his current speed, yeah, we're not gonna like see a clear. It's not that kind of game, but he might actually get pretty deep in there. We'll see. That's really good.
Good.
Julo Ninja. What's been Julo Ninja's issue here? Because
the issue is this game is hard.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks like when I played it, you know. I mean,
when you've got 4 people going up against each other, you know, especially since Julo Ninja, if I'm not mistaken, generally plays games that are a little bit newer than this. You know, so I wouldn't be too surprised if this particularly game may be a weakness of his in some ways. But with that said, Julo Ninja might actually beat the level in a little bit. Just gotta make some of these tricky jumps here. Oh,
yep, we're really
not the
close.
skull. Oh, so close.
Yeah, one of the part that's tricky about this is when you have the combination conveyor belt and moving thing, and you have to sort of time them against each other, and it's sometimes set up in a way that you can't like backtrack. You have to actually start the timing perfectly, as opposed to, oh, I can stop what I'm doing and then reset. So sometimes they'll kill you. So that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's life here. Well, one other game that this company made that I believe people... Oh, is this the game that I'm thinking of? Let me take a look at screenshots. Okay. Nope. They made a game called Orpheus. I was thinking that was a game that we had, but absolutely not. Chucky Egg 2 are familiar. I see Xeno in their credits. Xeno appears to be some sort of football, hockey-esque game. I don't even know. But yeah, like making games, the company essentially stopped making games in 1986. But then they merged, apparently, to become Icon Design. What did Icon Design make? Not a whole lot of stuff. Barbarian for DOS, Amiga. Oh no. That's the mouse-controlled Barbarian game. Oh no.
Liz just got through, so that was really good reading on her part for the last part, which she hadn't gotten to yet in terms of which platforms to stand on. This really gave me a feel like playing Lode Runner, even though it's not Lode Runner at all. I mean, you don't dig anything; you're just running around. Are you familiar with Lode Runner?
I'm a little familiar with Lode Runner. I haven't played it a whole lot, but I've played a tiny bit. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's essentially a puzzle game when you get down to it. You're just running around and you're digging and you're going up ladders and so forth. But there's something about like you have to do the right sequencing. And you have to stand in platforms in just the right way.
If you don't, you can get rid of platforms that are required to get various items. Yeah, figuring out the sequence of events in order to get through the level is very important for this type of game. It looks like it's going to be more straightforward, but it's very much a puzzle game.
Just to recap, so it's Triscore, then Liz, then Swirl Dreams, and then Julo Ninja. That's the order right now?
That appears to be the order, yes. And we're going to see the placement change a lot during this, and that is fine. That's just how it's going to be. Luckily, you know, we still have over 40 minutes left. We've got a lot of time for the players to learn how to play this game, and everybody's made progress. You know, Julo Ninja on level 2, if Julo can start making some consistent progress and really figuring out how to map out these levels, then he could easily catch up to everybody else. There's lots of time.
It looks like Liz might be on the way to 5 here. Oh, got messed up by the screw there. There's a part there that's kind of unintuitive with getting the cherry, where you need to actually like vaporize a platform and go down rather than just jump. It looks like you're just supposed to jump right there, and then you can see right there, like you're actually you don't even need to touch the upper platform at all. So I don't know if you can get these out of order. There probably are screens where you can, but usually there's an intended order for how you pick up the objects. So
it's probably not necessarily required. There may be I know with some of these levels there can be multiple paths to get through with older games like this. Hey, Triscore, on to level 5. Very nice. The thing is, like, figuring out if any of those multiple paths are bait and switches or if they're actually the intended path can be a little tricky to figure out. But, you know, if there are multiple paths, usually one is a little bit easier but more time-consuming to get through. And the thing is, you do have limited time in each of these levels based off of your oxygen meter. Uh-oh, Triscore almost got the egg, but then chickened out because the coin was coming back.
I did notice the oxygen meter isn't too much trouble in this game. Like, I even when I was dying a whole bunch, I never died by oxygen. It's a generous enough one. Now, I did not get to like the really late level, so it may be they start to have like some kind of stunt levels where you have to go super mega fast. It's possible. But at least in the ones where they're going to get to in their reasonable amount of time, it's not as much a concern. It's still there because so that you don't just sit there forever, but it's not going to be a major push against time. You're really, it's all about trying to avoid dying by doing the jump right.
Gotcha. By the way, yeah, I'm looking at more of this company. It seems like this home computer was pretty doomed. I mean, like, yeah, the company that made this collapsed and then got absorbed by the Spanish company Eurohard. And let me just say, Eurohard is not the best name for a company. But with that said, after a few years, Eurohard also collapsed. They filed for bankruptcy in 1987. Yeah, so that is unfortunate. But from what I can see, this computer used the Motorola processor of the time, the MC6809E. I didn't actually know that Motorola made processors back then, but I suppose they did, and heck, it was good enough to run this game, Screaming Abdabs.
Triscore on to 6. He's really good at reading these levels quickly. I mean, that's one of the main things. And also, you can see the pause there where they're dropping the save state. So that's what that's all about. You're not seeing the menu because the way OBS works, it doesn't record that. There is one kind of interesting element to this. So Triscore's dropped his save state with 1 life.
Oh yeah.
I believe Liz has been making sure to reload every single time, so it's at 4 lives, which is kind of interesting. I think though it's sort of the same, really, because if you reload after like you lose lives to make sure you have 4, That's the same as if you reload if you're at 1 to make sure you're not at 0, basically, right? I mean, kind of. So I don't know if there's like a strategy to that or just a mental thing that makes you feel better, maybe?
I mean, I think that the important thing is if you get into a rhythm here, you know, if it makes sense to you to reload every time or not. Eventually, you're going to have to get to the point where you do reload every time if you only have 1 life left. So starting early or starting late doesn't really matter too much. Like, because they're going to be doing it at one point or another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense to me. By the way, we did have big catch-up from Jula Ninja. So we are at 3 players at 4 and Triscore is at 6.
Oh my gosh, big catch-up, everybody. Gotta watch out for that. Heinz coming to take over the stream.
I need to look at the ref sheet. I don't know who's ahead.
Yeah, right now, Liz Star and Swirl Dreams are essentially tied for 2nd and 3rd, although it appears that Liz got there just a little bit ahead of Swirl Dreams, and by a little bit, I mean 4 minutes ahead. But Liz has been struggling here for a while. If Swirl Dreams can manage to get a 5th item, then that will put him into 2nd place. Triscore definitely has the lead, though, and is doing pretty dang well. Jilla Ninja, though, I imagine some progress is going to happen pretty quickly here. Yeah, now people are talking about the timer in the game and how it seems irrelevant, and I would say that in general, that's probably going to be the case for the early levels. However, it may matter when they get deeper into the game, especially for any of the levels that have a lot of items and a lot of waiting. Games like this tend to at least have one level where they're like, okay, you've got to stand on a whole bunch of floors and make them all disappear and waste a whole bunch of time. So if you waste time doing other stuff, you're dead.
One of the nice things about
video games.
One of the nice things about this is that, I mean, if you saw the little demo screen when we were doing our introduction, they actually saw it rotate through most of the levels of the game, like just as demos. So you actually, I don't know if they sat down and took notes or anything like that, but if they were really paying attention, Liz is about to get the key, just needs to time it out.
Yeah, if Liz dies here, what I would recommend is just practicing that jump, but Liz getting it right away, very nice. Liz moving on to level 5 and solidifying that 2nd place for now. Yeah, timers in this game, basically, like, for a game like this, if you find a safe spot and you can just stand there, then you can essentially just watch forever in order to map out where you want to go. Or if there's a tricky jump and you're just waiting for cycles to line up perfectly, you would be able to wait forever. So putting the timer in there makes you actually take risky moves. I'm not sure it's necessary per se, especially when you're thinking about modern games, but like, I understand the logic of having the timer in this game, especially for the era. You know, they wanted, if they didn't give you that stress, then you would just be able to clear this game very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Swirl Dreams got
they're making
screwed!
It easy. That's the other thing I should say about this. Every player is making this look easy. This is much harder than even with the save states. This is really bonkers hard. I watched one person tried to do a long play of this. Like, he's one of those YouTubers that just kind of goes through and plays a whole bunch of games and makes, here, I played this game for 30 minutes, and then, you know, has it. So that's actually really valuable. And he tried to do that on this game and just gave up. It was that hard. Like, did not understand what was going on or how to get through things. I did find one eventually that somebody who actually managed to play, and they played without save states. They played legit through like the first 3 levels. So it is possible even without save states, but it just, there's so many ways you can die in terms of the falling and the ceiling hits and everything. That
Julo Ninja is through to level 5, moving up from 4th to 3rd place. And the Swirl Dreams right after. We've got a race. This is really getting heated up. Unfortunately, Julo Ninja did die right at the beginning. However, with the save state, not a huge deal. Just gonna have to get used to loading the save state over and over again.
Yeah, with the nature of this, it's really like as long as you're close on in terms of what screen you're on, this is any of them can be winning this game at this point, just because there's so much of this is based off information, and once you got it down, it goes pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. And here's the
right
deal.
Now, Triscore is actually getting pretty stumped by some of the tricks you have to do on this level. It takes some sequencing that's a little bit unusual to make sure that you're getting everything without dying.
Yeah. By the way,
for example, oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I just noticed somebody said, I'm looking forward to the speed run for the Kuso block. And speaking of speed runs, submissions for Big Bad Gameathon are open right now, and a lot of the times people submit to Big Bad Gameathon, do a run, and then use that run as a submission to the GDQ Awful block. It's something that I would love to see people do, and honestly, there is time for you to learn a new game. Submissions end Wednesday. You do not have to have the most polished run, but speedrun showcases high score attempts. Get something sent in. I would love for you to do that. And you don't necessarily have to do this game, but, you know, we also have historically had some less conventional speedruns where, like, there were safety strats, like the save states we've allowed in certain games. I know Weird Dreams, a game that Flannel Cat and I ran quite a bit. Yeah, we did run specifically with the infinite life code, because if you don't do that, I don't know, yeah, it's hard. It's very, very hard.
I'm just trying to think, if you actually could speedrun this one without... I wouldn't do it for a marathon without some kind of cheat or just save states or something like that. I mean, you could just prepare a save state for each level and just have it all in one directory, so that's easy. But I'm just, it is, once you get a level down, it is really uncanny how much scripting you can kind of do. I think one of the things that's sort of incredible about this kind of game is you can do this thing that was previously impossible, like second try. And it's like, wait a minute, it took me like 100 tries to do this first time. I think literally for me, it took me 100 tries to get back to the first level. It was that hard.
Yeah.
Now, you know, and again, there's so much of that information game part to it that it makes it so it's not as bad once you actually know which jumps to do. Now, the problem is you can get yourself kind of stuck. And you know, you get all the way through it, then you realize this floor that you're supposed to keep, you didn't keep. By the way, Swirl Dreams now on to 6, so trailing just behind Liz. We really got an exciting race here.
Yeah, I'm loving this. Now, I do want people to know that, like, there are various ways to play this game that anybody who has played classic platformers generally knows some of the tricks here, because we're dealing with dedicated jumps. You know, you have no air control, but at the same time, for a lot of games like this, it's got a system where if you just hold up, you automatically jump over and over. And from what I'm seeing, Triscore is trying to use that in order to get perfectly lined jumps. The thing is, if you try to move horizontally and jump in a lot of platformers, because of how precise your inputs have to be, it's difficult. But if you have an auto jump function and you jump straight up and then hold over and jump, all you have to do is line yourself up with the right pixel and bam, pixel perfect jump. You've got it. Like that. So a system like this actually makes pixel perfect jumps a lot easier to do. Not always trivial, but much easier.
So on Liz's screen, it looks like she was having trouble getting the Sunday. That is one of the tricky parts in the terms of the level sequencing. I believe. Well, let me look at this. I think you barely have enough jump. You know what would be nice if we had the thing where you can write on the screen, like we're
Sports commentators.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these days I can get something like that, but I don't have that right now. Sorry.
The platform, so there's two platforms to the right of the Sunday. I believe you can jump from the bottom to the top, but I'm not remembering off the top of my head. I think that's what Liz is about to try. And then she jumped, but she jumped into the spike because you actually have to like be back a bit to do that jump. So you jump onto that platform, and then you have enough jump you can get up, and then you can pick up the Sunday. So that's the trick right there. Let's see here.
Yeah, Escorian, by the way, is pointing out that this match is extremely close. We've got 3 people on level 6. One of them has 3 objects, 2 have 2, and because of that, whoever gets 4 will move into first. Like, it's really completely up for grabs, the various placements here. This is turning out to be a fantastic match. And that's the thing, like with Kusogrand8, it can be a very boring looking and sounding game. Like, you wouldn't expect something like this to be so intensely close for the players, but it is, and that's what gets me really excited. Come on, who in their right mind is playing a game from 1985 on the Dragon and racing it specifically on July 28th, 2024? Literally only us.
Yeah, I mean, the way I found it was pretty random too. I was not looking for Kusogrand8 games because I playing some Dragon games, but they were like text adventures. That's what I was playing, and I came across this one just based on the name. It's like, that is a wild name. You know, one good way to find Kuso is the name really weird. It's just like, okay, that name means that it must be interesting to at least look at. But I still figured it was probably some kind of text game. And then I started playing. I was like, hey, actually, this is kind of intriguing. And yeah, it turned out, hey, this actually is competitive and it's got a lot of levels. And okay, so
yeah, you never really know.
I mean, I've got some other weird systems that I've got games for that I was intentionally looking for, but not this one. This was just by accident. So.
Well, happy little accidents are fantastic. And, you know, we've had some games that are a little bit like this. I always recommend that people play through a variety of eras, genres. This is one genre that, if you're in Kusogrand8, you should definitely try at least once. The sort of old-school British precision platformer. That will give you experience that will help you in Kusogrand8. And it also helps you develop some of the techs to make precise jumps here. With that said, Triscore has managed to jump into level 7, maintaining that lead. Now we've got creepy little aliens and televisions and scissors. The 3 greatest enemies of a Welsh person. Oh my gosh. Yeah, anybody from Wales, can you confirm TVs, aliens, and scissors? Those are the three baddies in life.
So you had mentioned in the premise, you were still trying to figure out my style, and I do try to keep things guessing, but I do have a lot of Euro nonsense. This is not the only Euro nonsense game I have. A lot of them are only appropriate for rounds 3 and up, though. You could put it that way. They were not ones I would want to bring out until later. So,
I mean,
if the idea of nonsense isometric games from British computers excites you, we might get one of those sometime. It's possible.
Okay.
You ever play any of those?
What was it again?
Nonsense isometric games because they were also popular.
I mean, I do like isometric games. I have played quite a few. And I'm a much bigger fan of them than a lot of other people in this community. So yeah, I'm down for it.
Okay, all right. But yeah, no, I've also been trying to keep up variety, and this is the first time I've basically given the same genre twice. I guess the Haunted Mansion one's kind of a precision platformer, so I'll say that this is the same genre as that game, the Japanese one.
I mean, I guess.
I would call that maybe an imprecision platformer because your character is intentionally janky to control in such a way that's different than this. It's not consistent. That one had like different physics depending on which room you're in. This one, at least, the physics is all the same. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, your nonsense like Dizzy. I love Dizzy. Dizzy is so good.
I hate Dizzy, okay? But I think it's just because he's an egg. I will take care of the
Euro nonsense Dizzy games, all right?
I think that, like, if I played them a little bit more, I'd enjoy it. He looks so smug. I hate that freaking egg.
I mean, that's fair.
Let me see if I can find this smug little bastard, okay? Here we go. Yeah. Everybody, you look at this egg, and what do you think, huh? Do you think this is a main character that you want to play as? This little freak here? No. He's someone who I would probably be happy to accidentally push off a wall. Yeah. Take that, Dizzy.
I have multiple games with disturbing European mascots. Let's just put it that way. Dizzy is the most prominent, but I mean, they had a game show in the early '80s in England. That was their big mascot was like a big trash can that walked around. It was.
I'd rather play as a trash can. Is it a smug trash can? I can get behind that. Don't want a smug egg, but a smug trash can. That's great. That's absolutely subverting expectations, okay? You expect a trash can to be like, oh, I'm so sad. I'm a trash. But can you imagine? It's like, yeah, you nerds. I'm the trash. Come on, get in me, boys. Wait.
So meanwhile, Triscor's been on 8 for a while now. I do think 7's easier than 6. So there are so many things to figure out in terms of the sequencing on 6. It's almost the kind of level, while it's trying to decide the order to do stuff, I might actually stop to make sure I've got it right. But we look like Julo Ninja is... was trying to get, I think there was one more item left. No, he hadn't got the Sunday yet. Okay. I think Liz is the closest to actually beating 6 out of the players that are still trying it, though.
Oh, well, we are 40 minutes in, 20 minutes left. Remember, everybody, this is a race to see how far they can make it in an hour. Whoever does takes the victory, and right now, Triscor definitely has the lead, though everybody else on level 6 with Liz Star a tiny bit ahead, having collected 3 objects. Yeah, it still is really up for grabs for anybody, though Triscor has the highest chance of winning. I'm not too surprised Triscor is European, and because of that, has the home field advantage, I would say. If you grow up in an area with specific types of games, the odds are much, much higher that you have played games that are similar to this. So yeah, I'd say that that does come as an advantage. This is probably something that is much more familiar territory, and because of that, Triscor knows some of the setups and such. But we don't take into account where people live necessarily when we are giving games out. Although occasionally I'll be like, oh, I know this person is really good at this genre. Like, the more you play in Kusogrand8, the more likely I'm going to try to screw you over. That's
Liz
just
got
the
through.
reality.
Yeah, she figured out the last object, which I have no idea what that thing is. It's like a drumstick. That she was having to approach that from the left, and that was enough to get to the end. So it was once you got the sequencing, it was just a matter of sequencing on this. It looks like we may have. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Swirl Dreams may actually be. I don't know if you can recover from this spot though.
Well, you know how to recover, you die.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take that long to get through. You just do it again.
Hey, Liz is on to level 7. Very, very nice. Yeah, it's something a little interesting with Kusogrand8. Like, I know that with a lot of tournaments, people worry about giving games out to people that they know because it's like, oh, there may be some favoritism. But in general, we tend to do anti-favoritism. We try not to have people get the same GM twice in a row. We keep an eye on that. But at the same time, if a GM knows you, the odds that they know your weakness and what you're going to suck at are much, much higher. And so it almost is never an advantage to have a friend as a GM.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this game because I don't think I've seen any of them play like Manic Miner or one of those. Or we have had one game on this Kuso that resembles this. It was the one where you're in a spacesuit, and I think it was a ColecoVision game. I don't remember the name offhand. Somebody in chat remembers. Looking back over where people are having trouble here. Sticks. There's. I think Jilo Ninja is still having trouble even getting to the Sunday, which is one of the big parts to deal with. It does seem like the easiest way to get to that Sunday is to jump up to the brick. What would you call it? The broken floor on the bottom. And what's going wrong is maybe not even realizing that you can do that. That's actually a floor you can get on. I could see that being a kind of a source of being tricky here. There were some other jumps, if you're paying attention earlier, which kind of indicate that would work. It looks like Jilo Ninja just tried to do a jump to the Sunday. And it's anything that is you pick up that is required as counts as an object, ball beef. So the way this works is there's a set of objects on the screen. They're all food of some sort. At least I'm pretty sure it's food, although it's a little hard to identify what some of the stuff is. And then once you pick it up, then you can get the key. And if you don't have everything, you can't get the key. So.
Oh no. Well, right now, honestly, whoever comes in first is likely going to move on to the bracket for Kusogrand8. Like, that's really what first place is going to do here. Especially if they already have 20 points. That means that they'll have 30. That is a lock-in that they make it into the final bracket, eligible for the prizes that we give out in Kusogrand8, and it gets really exciting. Everybody else will still be able to make it there, but they will have to battle a little bit more, and last place will have to do very well in their fourth match in order to move on. But with that said, I think, Triscore has had this lead for quite a while, but other people are catching up. Lizstar especially making it to level 7, collecting 3 objects. Not too much longer, and she may make it to that level.
And while you were out, Swirl Dreams did go ahead and finish the level 2. So, Jilo Ninja is just having trouble with the sequencing here. it's not even a matter of the jumps. It's actually like figuring the puzzle out, which is, it's kind of interesting that a lot of this is a puzzle game in a way, even though it's not the jumping that makes it a lot harder.
Whee!
Hold on, I was just checking chat here.
Fine.
Oh, I see you said something in chat here. I know if someone did very well in a genre, I'm going to avoid that genre because I'm evil.
Well, yeah, I was thinking, like, because we got Liz start playing here, right?
Right.
Liz, if I see that Liz is going to show up in a match, I'm not giving a Genesis game out. That's the rules. I do not give a Genesis game to Liz because, one, I will probably have to redraw a bazillion times, and two, she knows how Genesis games are made, even if it's a game that she hasn't played. Like, that's basically me saying, hey, congrats, Liz, you win. I'm going to go ahead and try to find something sadistic and evil in order to, and something from a different genre. It's possible that she still wins that, but I want to test her and not give her a free win, I saw Tristan saying, I make my game list and then afterwards I choose, I see who the players are after I make my game list. I think that's a completely valid way. Every GM has a little bit of a different philosophy, but I can also assure that if Tristan got a game list together and then saw Liz was in there, Tristan is not giving out a Genesis game from that game list. I can almost guarantee that.
Willing to give a Bill's Tomato game, because that one was the unreleased prototype that is pretty different from Genesis game anyway.
Ooh.
But it might have still got vetoed. But I know we had one person, I think it might have been in Discord, that also knows every Genesis game, and they were like, this is a Genesis game I don't know. And it's like, yeah, it didn't get released. So
that always excites me. Like, when somebody is an expert of a specific console and you're like, hey, time for me to go ahead and blow away all of your expectations. Here's a game that doesn't follow any of the rules at all. Have fun. That often ends up being exciting.
I know during the GM bracket, somebody was trying really hard to find a RoboCop for Corndan, and so that's sort of in the same ballpark there. If you can find a RoboCop that Corndan is unfamiliar with, you've won, basically. You're done. You're done with life.
You're done with life? Does that mean that he's going to get you?
You won.
No!
You're not going to beat it.
Oh, okay.
That's
you won. Oh, you succeeded. Gotcha.
Yeah, no, Iscorian, yes, I know. Yes, there was a RoboCop Corndan did not have, so, yeah, I know. It is funny that way. The way I pick games is not usually, I will look at what level they are first, and then I'll pick the game based on the level. So sometimes, like this one, I would not have given a lower point score just because I knew it was very, very hard.
Oh, I would.
I mean, I might consider it, but I think this one was more interesting when it's more competitive and they're really getting up to level 8. Because if I was racing this based on the amount of time it took me, I would be like at level 2 or something. It wouldn't be as fun to watch. So that's one thing I consider, and then I'll look afterwards if like any of them have anything they said about flashing or, motion sickness or something. So like I had a 3D one, and then I got Tina Hacks, and then I was like, oh, I guess I'm not doing that one.
Yeah,
so
well,
that's fine. You got the wacky Japanese game, so it works out. But
yeah, to clarify for people, there are some players who have accessibility needs, and accessibility can range from I have arthritis and too much button mashing can be very painful to if I see something 3D, I immediately vomit. And, we want to adjust for that. We don't want to give you a game that makes you vomit. I know of that happening at least once. I'm sorry, Corndan. It wasn't my fault. But,
which game was this?
Oddly, it was I think a Game Boy Advance game. It wasn't 3D, it was the audio. Yeah, Metadroid is what Corndan says. Yeah, so if you manage to give a game that has such bad audio that somebody vomits, that is a whole nother level of stuff that I didn't expect. You just never know what's going to happen. But, like, you know, we're here to torture your minds, not to torture your bodies, you know? We don't want you to have physical issues because of the games. With that said, Triscore is not having any issue whatsoever. Triscore is on level 9. Yeah, Liz is really trying to get there. Currently on level 8, Swirl on level 7, and Julo Ninja on level 6. It is a very even spread between the players. If it ends up this way, we will have no question whatsoever who is the winner. First, second, third, and fourth. That'll be very, very clear.
I do have one audio crime game in my collection, but it's a music one. I mean, it's got very, very, very bad music. It's the... You know how Ancient Roman, they made they made an issue with the sound font. They did it wrong.
Yes.
This is a similar situation. They had there's like another port of the game where you can hear what this audio is supposed to sound like, and then you can hear what the Kuso version sounds like, and yeah, you can see what happened to mess it up. It was a programming error. So
I love it.
It's always fun when that happens.
Yeah. And honestly, like, this is a bad game tournament, you know? Occasionally there are going to be games that end up being a problem for people that we had no idea for reasons that were completely unexpected. And it's like, you know, it's kind of exciting, but at the same time, it's like if you legitimately are becoming ill because of something, bow out for a while, okay? Go and get a breather. Like, I don't want people to get ill because of games, you know? Every once in a while, I'm like, I see somebody pause in Kusogrand, and I'm like, it's possible they stepped away because they just need to for a minute. And you are allowed to do that, okay? Go, stand up, get a glass of water, take a breather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's fair. On a game like this, especially, I mean, somebody might stop just because they're studying the level. You know, that's a totally fair way to play this, where you actually have to stop and like even like draw a little picture of what your route's gonna be. This is the sort of game where you might want to do that.
Yeah, and that's not something that you're probably gonna do when you're casually playing a game, you know? If you were just to boot this up casually and play it, you're probably not even gonna make it to level 9. But, you know, the players are just trying to make it solid enough that they can get a little bit more progress, you know? And if it requires pausing, looking at the game, routing it, or if making more progress requires you to turn off the audio for a second so that your headache goes away, like, do what you need to as a player. You know, I will keep the audio on because I'm the host and I kind of like to make the viewers suffer a little bit, but that's just me, you know? You don't necessarily have to while you're playing. I'm going to. Because I'm weird. I don't know. Like, it's masochism, you know? I'm a video game masochist. I'm here. I enjoy good games, but honestly, I enjoy all of the travesties that appear in bad video games. They're so much fun.
Incidentally, that's the first fish in the game, isn't it? The one in the upper left on Triscore's screen?
There's a fish.
I like the fish. Yes.
Okay, we gotta get the fish. Oh, and Lizstar is on to level 9 as well. This is Lizstar's chance to move into the lead. If she can collect 4 items, then that will be a lead change, but she has to collect 4 in order to do that. Triscore has gotten 3, and this level actually requires some patience. And unfortunately, this far into the match, players don't feel like they want to be patient, but this is a game that requires it at times. Like, simply put, waiting for the cycles to line up between the wheel and the platform that's moving is it by the pear? Yeah, the platform right above the bobbing skull. That is a platform that really requires patience in order to get. Triscor managing to land on it. So if Liz can figure out the cycle in the next attempt or two, she could make a good push, but also she's going the incorrect way in order to get through this level. You need to jump up on the platform above the tiramisu, to the left of the bobbing skull, walk to the right of that platform, and then jump straight up in order to get to where you want to go. She instead is climbing up on the left side and getting some death because of that. There she goes. She grabs the tiramisu, going up, and then is she going to jump up again? Because if so, that is... Oh, I guess that technically worked. Okay, I think that's a harder way of doing it. Now she gets to play the waiting game. Okay. Unfortunately, jumping just a little bit too late and missing the platform, falling to her death. There's not much time. Speaking of time, Swirl Dream still on level 6. Jula Ninja, Swirl Dream's on 7, Jula Ninja on 6. That's 3rd and 4th, and it's going to be very difficult for Jula Ninja to catch up. Essentially, he has to get through this level now and play the next level perfectly. With 2 minutes left, that might not be enough time, even if you are a perfect player.
Yeah, I don't think he's figured out the tricks yet for the last two foods, and it's not working out for him. We might still get Triscor through before the end here. We've got enough time for one more attempt at the fish.
Yeah, I think there's still enough time technically for Liz, but we're really, really low on time. A minute and a half. These levels are not long. This is old school video game stuff, you know? They go very, very quickly. You just need to hurry. You do not have time. A minute and 20 seconds left. But if Liz takes second, that is still good enough that she's probably going to make it into the bracket. Like, gotta be honest, she's doing very well. Hey, Swirl Dreams is on to level 8. Very nice, Swirl Dreams. That is gonna lock in 3rd place. Julo Ninja will be 4th. Unfortunately, welcome to Kusogrand8. Happens to all of us at some point.
I think if Liz got first place on her other matches, she is guaranteed a bracket, I think, because even if she got like 2 points for her last match, she would be
that
over
would
this.
Take her to probably the tiebreaker. So I would say that she's going to be guaranteed to at least make the tiebreaker. Okay. And if she gets anything other than 4th place on her final match, then yes, you are correct. She will make it into the bracket. But yeah, here we go. This is the end of the match. And that is time. Everybody throw your hands in the air. Throw your Tims in the chat. We all love Tim. Yeah, if you didn't know, Tim is just time without the E. Congrats, Tim. And Triscor is our victor. Let me go ahead and see if Triscor wants to come and chat. That was a lot of fun. I love that Swirl Dreams is like, so how many times did I bonk my head on the HUD? And I would assume a lot.
The oxygen bar of doom.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm inviting Triscor to come and chat. Just so everybody knows, final confirmation here. Triscor takes the victory. 1st place, Liz Star. 2nd place, Swirl Dreams 3rd, and Julo Ninja 4th. Those are the placements. That is what we have. Congratulations to all of our players for surviving the match. And Julo Ninja, even though you did take last, you still have a very, very decent shot at making it into the bracket. You know, if you don't take last at least once in life, can you really say that you are competing? You're just a deity at that point, you know? Actually, that would be pretty cool. If there are any deities who want to come play in Kusogrand8, I welcome you. You can come join us. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, let me see. Triscor, are you going to be able to come and join us? Por favor, maybe. Triscor,
Yeah,
you're not
Triscor's-
responding. Triscor? Triscor? Yeah, Escorian is saying that Triscor managed to get the fish after time was up. That's just fish life, you know? Sometimes you don't get the fish until it's too late. With that said, we've got Triscor, our victor here. Hello, and congratulations. You have taken first and are pretty much guaranteed a spot in the bracket for Kusogrand8. You're currently muted, by the way, so if you're talking, we cannot hear you. It's good to have you, though. Well, that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, one of these days, Omega Number. One of these days, we're gonna make Discord be nice to us. Discord? Can somebody punch Discord, please? I've been trying to for a long time. Hey,
Hello.
I think Discord's here. Hello.
Hey!
Hey,
Oh.
congrats! You managed to take first. Seriously, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really like, you have to figure out, it's a puzzle game, pretty much. A really nasty puzzle game.
Yeah, you're right. This is a game that looks like a platformer, but you have to plan all of your movements. You have to plan your timing. You have to plan out the order of items to collect. And once you do that, the levels actually become pretty straightforward. And yeah, congrats, Liz, for taking second place. Congrats, all the players, for doing a fantastic job today. But yeah, a puzzle game that looks like a platformer. Have you played other games like this before, Triscor?
I mean, I'm not this old. I
Not-
played like... Oh yeah, I played the... What's the game called? I got the Kusogrand and just...
Uh-oh.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking there are other precision-esque games sort of like this, like, is it Super Cauldron 2, Monty on the Run? That's more of a good game than a bad game. Yeah.
I know about Monty's Revenge, or...
I do know
That
Monty's
game.
Revenge, yeah.
I only seen it, it's just like... I think Spelunky has like the fall death too.
Yeah, Spelunky definitely has that sort of death as well. And the games, you know, they look like they're going to be sort of straightforward platformers, but because of how short they would be if they were, like, they get incredibly difficult and require a lot of planning to get through. And I was thinking, if Triscor has played games like this before, then Triscor may have a bit of the advantage, because this is a lot more standard in Europe, this type of game from back in the day. And because of that, I was like, maybe Triscor has an advantage, but maybe not.
Nah. Unfortunately, I'm not this old. I'm
Fine. I guess I'm grandpa over here. This is the type of game that, like, I would have played when I was young, completely in my wheelhouse. I would, if I were playing and Omega Number gave this to me, I would be like, heck yeah, finally a match I can win. Yeah, I would feel
Yeah.
pretty confident.
It's like,
But yeah,
it's a bit confusing at first.
okay.
I was like trying to grab the key and they wouldn't let me, and was like, I guess I got grabbed the other stuff. It's
Yeah,
not really clear.
I'm not exactly sure why you have to get a fish before you get a key, but I guess that's life. I don't know, life is
Well,
confusing.
Maybe this is like grocery shopping in 1984 or something.
Anybody who grocery shopped in 1984, can you confirm or deny if you had to get the fish first? Well, Triscor, thank you so much for joining us today. I have to ask, are you planning anything for Big Bad Gameathon this year?
Do you want me to go? Is it like?
Yeah, we've got submissions open until Wednesday. It doesn't have to be polished, just something.
Did play. You know about Samurai Ghost?
Oh, I love Samurai Ghost.
I actually played the prequel to it.
Ooh.
And maybe I should submit that one because it's weird too, and it has like it's not just 2D big sprites. It's like top down, small.
Yeah, it does have the big sprite mode, but yeah, there are multiple modes in the game. That would be interesting. You should, if you've done speedruns of it, then or done a little routing of it already, get something together. It doesn't have to be super polished, but we want submissions for Big Bad Game-a-thon. I'd love to see that.
Yep. Funny story. I beat the game 12 times because the achievement set was just bugged. So I was like trying to, and I was checking if it worked, and it didn't, and I had to resend it again.
Oh no.
So,
I mean, hey,
I'm pretty knowledgeable at this point.
Sometimes the games just trick you into playing them too many times. Well, what else are you doing? Are you streaming these days? Do you have anything going on over at your channel?
No, I've just been playing like GameCube.
I mean,
like
the
that.
GameCube's good.
Yeah, like Odama. Ever heard of Odama?
I don't think I have. What is that?
It's a pinball game in feudal Japan, and you can control your troops using your voice.
Ooh. Oh, that sounds terrible. Oh no.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Terrible in all the good ways. Terrible's in the way that I like it, but terrible nonetheless. Well, that's good to know. I think that's all the time that we have. So thank you very much. And thank you, Omega Number, for giving us this game. I had a lot of fun. And honestly, I kind of want to give this game a shot sometime. I think that it's right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, it's genuinely enjoyable if you like, you like the stuff like Manic Miner or one of those games. And there's no exploration, so you don't like to have to worry about mapping a 200-room thing where you go the wrong way. And I mean, it's just single room, figure it out, puzzle type stuff, which it worked really well for a race. So
yeah.
All right, you take care.
Yeah, take care, you too. See you later. Well, everybody, this is Kusogrand8, the Bad Video Game Tournament, and yes, I want to remind you, Big Bad Game-a-thon submissions are open through Wednesday. We need submissions, so please, if you are considering it all, please submit. You don't have to have the most polished video. You can do a little more polishing of your run later on, but get something together, because I would love to have it. Speed runs, high score attempts, showcases. As long as you think it's going to be interesting, we'd love to review it. So I do want to say thank you to everybody who played during the last match. We've got 3 more coming up. I'm going to run a quick ad so that I can use the restroom. We will be back in about 2 minutes.